As creative director, I was unable to get the overall choice of game that I wanted, but I took the general concept that was chosen and ran with that and create a basic story, and then Kelly expanded upon that story. So our game changed quite a bit from the original concept, but I think it turned out better than the direction that it started in, which is very survival horror, and turned into more of the storytelling thing that we came up with. Anyway, as pseudo producer at the beginning of the semester, back when Chris was our producer, I took what programs we were going to use, such as Perforce, Unreal, Skype, Productive, and all that stuff, and tried to get everybody to have them so we could use them. Unfortunately, we had to resort to GitHub as our source control for some reason, and we had some problems getting Unreal for, I believe, Rodrigo. So we almost considered going to Unity, but I really pushed for Unreal because I think it's the better engine, and it just looks nicer, and it's, I think, better to have in our portfolio since we've already been using Unity and some other things. So I tried it best we can. We use the things that we wanted to use. I held design meetings for the designers to create level designs and mechanics for the game. I tried to let them have control over their levels, but if there was a mechanic suggested or part of a level that I feel didn't fit the game or would be confusing to a player somehow, I asked them to rework it. For instance, back when our game was more about fears and each level was focused on a fear, water, fire, and darkness. David wanted there to be a monster that stalked you as you went around the darkness level. It sounded cool, but adding that would have required a lot of work from the art team because we would have had to have a high or a pretty detailed organic model, which was doable, but it would have taken away a little bit from some other things. And the programming team would have had to do a lot of work on making it move and track the player, but stay out of range and all these things that we wanted to do. So I tried to stray away from that. And when the game went from the Scott is afraid of everything type of game that it was and towards more of the let's uncover what happened to Scott and why he's depressed and stuff, that part of the game didn't really fit at all, what David suggested. For things that are actually in the game, I voiced Scott, the main character, and combined the audio that I recorded and from what Parker and Kelly sent me so I could give that to the programmers to add into the game. In Unreal 4, I did the terrain for the catacombs and helped with the terrain in level 1. I had lights to the sewers and catacombs, placed foliage in level 1, and lots of other little things. I tested a lot and tried to change things like the distance between some of the plank platforms because they were awkward when they were originally designed. But I tried to get the designers in charge of those levels to do that themselves if I could, because I didn't want to. I kind of gave them freedom to be in charge of their level, so I didn't want to just come in and change things the way I want it to be. But if it was really bad or game-breakingly bad, of course, I would go and change it myself. Because I did have more experience in Unreal, and I could do certain things faster than other people. I didn't have any experience with matinees, for example, so I let the people that had matinees do their matinees. But for things like placing terrain or foliage editor and some other things, if there was something that could be done, I might have just done it myself because I know I could do it quicker. I also made the marketing and gameplay videos for RTM, and overall just try to keep the group together. And if anybody had any questions about Unreal or how to do something or what they should be doing, they didn't go to Parker as a design lead. They went to me for just stuff. And Kelly also came to me a lot because she didn't know what she was doing as a producer, really. She knew what to do, kind of, but she always came to me for advice early on to get stuff started, and was just overall very inquisitive, which was very nice because I had seen what Richard did last semester when I was in Data Dash, and he was fantastic, so I just tried to tell her what he did basically and emulate that.